What's up, folks? We got something a little bit different for you tonight. So I actually, this is pretty funny. So the channel's been growing a little bit. I've been experimenting a lot, playing around with it like I always intended to do. And recently I've done a lot more coordinating with other people, which has been a lot of fun, but has also kind of slowed things down and made things, yeah, when you have multiple schedules, it just gets harder. So, but what we're looking at right now, note that is not my trophy count, and I probably will never get that high. We're looking at a quick play example sent in by Andy from Discord, one of the top and longest running players in Warhammer combat cards. This is a really exciting chance at the moment of this, at the time of this recording. Let me actually see here. Let's take a look. Anyway, so I believe at the time of this recording, this deck is number 1, the top ranked deck in the entire game of all players in the ladder. And we're going to look at that deck, see what's in it, and then I'm going to do some commentary on the bodyguard choices, what's in it, and then we're going to see a couple games and kind of watch how this works. So I'm going to provide what commentary I can, but at the same time, there's a little bit of hero worship here because Andy is an excellent player, and of course, 25,000 trophies. And this is this season about a week or two ago, so we'll see. So we got a little music. It's always tricky doing these, right? Because he didn't do a voiceover. Number 1, rank 1, look at that. Woohoo! By 9,000 trophies, buddy. Okay, Necron, 14. Wow, 14,000 trophies for a single faction. This is the deck we're looking at. Trazyn the Infinite, of course, with the ability where, well, actually, you'll see that. Look at the bodyguards. We got the 8-point target acquired, almost max level. We got the 16-point Medicae, also is max level. Wow, that does it. 1 shy of max Sun Eater. Dang, okay. Other Medicae, the melee-only Oricon the Diviner. Of course, we got the 8-point Taunt. I swear it used to be 9. I keep thinking 9 with him. Seemit, one of the most consistent performers in the Necron faction, plus max level. And then the 4-point Medicae, not as high, but he's a newer card. So before we get into this too much, I want to go ahead and talk about this. So you've got Trazyn, and Trazyn, of course, has a bunch of shields. I didn't actually see what level Trazyn was, but at least 3 shields. And he reads a special rule right there, just to restate that. At the start of every turn, the opponent's highest cost bodyguard is hit with the acquisition target. If an acquisition target is reduced to 25% or less health by a friendly attack, but not destroyed, it is then removed from play and added to your deck. So if it has Death Blow, it doesn't trigger. I believe if it has Endless, it doesn't trigger. It just goes into your deck. And if it has any untriggered traits, like Death Blow or Endless, you then get to use them. Now, it doesn't heal, though, so there's an incentive to hang on to at least a couple of the Medicaes in this deck, and he's got 3 at 16, 23, and 4 points, because that Medicae effect does apply to your other cards. So if you were to capture a card early, put it in play, and then drop a Medicae, you would heal it up. But really, it's you get an early removal, and then have glass cannon stuff you can throw out there, because it is the most expensive cards you're up against. I struggle to land Trazyn personally, because I find I either do overkill and kill the target before taking it, or if a 40-point card is on the board and you get it low hit points, and then a 41-point card is played, acquisition target shifts, and you suddenly can't take the one you've already dealt damage to. So those are kind of the struggles I run into with Trazyn. A couple highlights here. One really important piece is that, I believe that's Navgran. That may be this. Anyway, this is Oricon. Oricon the Diviner, the 23-point Medicae, does not have a ranged attack, where this is really a ranged attack-centric deck. You do have pretty decent melee to fall back on with all 4 of these. And Trazyn himself is melee only. But if you're doing ranged attacks while you have this guy in your deck, you're automatically applying a debuff to your opponent's ranged deck, which is a really nice piece of defensive tech to help kind of push through those challenging matches against ranged attackers. So let's see this. Let's see what goes next. Deploy. Yes, do it. Do it. Sorry, I'm trying not to have too much fun. It is weird doing this without actually touching the buttons, so I'm able to just like, ooh, let's watch, see what happens. All right, a Artemis, a 3.5k Artemis. Of course, you don't want to play your higher price bodyguards on this one. Nice, okay. So just to kind of talk through that real quick, I won't do this for every game. We've got a couple games to watch. The deployment was important. Played the 4-point first, so it was the one least impacted by Artemis. I don't know, he's got a ping up there. Nice, got some extra features in here, Andy. Or that may be me. I don't know what that is. But he played Seemit last, because Seemit is the one whose hit points you want to make the most sure are not affected by Artemis's ability This is a really great matchup for Trazyn because you have so many hit points, and because there are so many cards in Artemis deck, they are likely to be a little bit squishier than most, so you have a better chance of quickly acquiring your priority targets. Of course, Seamet has the shields against Tor Garrodon over there on the top left. Ooh, slowed down the play. Okay, alright, that's good, because that was going really fast. This is going a little bit slow. It is very weird to go back to speed 1 after having... Oh, speed 2, nice. To go back to the slower speeds after getting used to playing the sped up thing. Doing a lot of readying here. You're doing really good counterattacks. He was just letting us know that Tor is the priority target and checking the shields to see how many shields he's got left. That should determine a lot of what you do, especially against the AI. You want to ready a lot so that you're clearing shields as quickly as possible without sacrificing. Oh, nice. All right, look at that. Okay. So timed it with the readies beautifully. Clearly been playing this deck a lot, so he knew or got lucky. Either knew or was lucky about exactly when was the line to get lethal. And that was an awesome opening pick, of course, because Tor Garrodon has shields. And I believe the shields reset when you redeploy him. So even though he's got like 40 hit points left, maybe 30 hit points left, you can play him. Ooh, that's a bummer. Oh, and the Artemis ability hit Seamet as well. Ooh, brutal. But now he should be able to take him again. That's not enough. And there you see that range debuff coming into play. And now he should have enough to steal... Yeah, should have enough to steal this guy. He's doing the math on this to figure out how much it's going to be. Gotta do the math. And I believe actually, if yeah. Okay, 2 picks. And like the, wow, extremely quick. Now this is a bad moment because clear board for Artemis, he can play 3 cards and you could really see your cards die very quickly there. Notice that Seamet lost a ton of hit points before attacks were even done and then promptly took out Seamet. But he already gained 2 cards, so he's got a really strong commanding lead here. Navgren there, and there we go. So the traits will trigger. So he's got a max level target acquired that also gives a max level outflank that you can play anytime. That is a risk against Artemis, though. If Artemis has any more cards to play, there's always a chance it's just going to wipe your very low health bonus card, which means it's not damage, it's doing something else, but still it's not the way you want to handle that. So we should get a couple matches in here, because this is a pretty crushing victory. I'm hoping we get a couple close ones in here. We'll see how many games are on this. And also hopefully the music isn't too loud. I've got it turned way down. My mic is pretty loud. So we'll see. And I usually play without the sound effects, so it's kind of cool to have those in there. We'll turn that down a little bit just in case. Oh man. Through shields. So I believe there's a cap of 3 cards stolen. Now he's gotten all 3, if I'm not mistaken. And now he's got 4 cards in the tank, 2 of them with shields, with Artemis on deck. So this is a comfortable victory. You know, there I would have been tempted, I mean, that's lethal. I would have been tempted, if I didn't have lethal, I would have been tempted to go ranged, so you would have the splash from the Sun Eater to take out that right bodyguard, and then the left would then be able to shoot in. But didn't need it. That was awesome. So, easy win. Let's see what else we got. See what else we got. I had peeked at this video. I was a little bit of lag, you mentioned when you sent me the video. I had peeked at this video before I actually played. Ooh, okay. And that happens to me. I just kind of wait it out, and it usually only takes a couple seconds to refresh. Okay, now we're going to get a Dark Strider. That could be tricky because Dark Strider will... I mean, and the AI, we'll see what the AI does. But Dark Strider's got a bunch of taunt that'll make it hard to target the target you want to take down. Deploy order doesn't really matter here because you're not going up against Artemis, so you're not taking damage on your card, so Seamet dropped first. Another reminder, always check to make sure you're not up against Artemis before you play, or Supreme Commander Gas before you start deploying. Because those guys who do free damage on deploy, you really don't want to be... Ooh, okay. And then, of course, got the Sun Eater out of the way where it's not going to be the primary target for that Barracuda. I forget if that's a Barracuda or not. That's what I always call it. Kept Sun Eater in front of it this time. Okay, just because of the volume of hit points he's got. It is a Barracuda. Okay, cool. Look at that. Got it right. Yeah, I mean, that's... Doing the math, the melee would be a decent pick, but if he does the ready, I believe that will mean that on his turn, the taunt is down, but also... Oh, no. So just to talk through, what I was trying to get at there is that if you ready, so the taunt drone, so taunt expires on the drone, then the drone is still on the board, so you have a better shot to take down the Barracuda and damage directly to it before a Medicae drops or another taunt is played. That's one of the really risky things with Trazyn, and one of the things that you need to practice a lot if you're going to play this, which Andy clearly has. Is being very strategic about when and where you kill stuff, and when and where you actually attack things. And he's got a bunch of melee charged up in those. But it wasn't quite enough to take out the Medicae, so he opted not to do it. I'm assuming that was the thought process behind that. Ooh, brutal. Ooh, I mean, that thing has been alive for a long... Oh god, Long Strike. Now here you'll see it, because I believe Long Strike is actually... Well, we'll see. I don't remember, actually. Long Strike may be cheaper than the Barracuda. Ugh. Oh man, bummer with the Medicae. That's going to be a little brutal there. That may be enough to steal the Barracuda. It's not. Okay, but it's getting there, for sure. And so here's the thing, too, before this triggers. Trazyn's ability, if you haven't seen it before, it triggers per attack. So if you do an attack that does enough damage to steal that away, it will immediately steal away that card before the others shoot. So it's not end of turn, it's immediately when the trigger goes. So it's somewhat safer to use the target acquired here because that doesn't guarantee overkill, right? So if you do enough damage to steal that, you will before other shots are fired. Blech. Boom, got it, nice. Man, that was getting tight. Oh, and there's the other taunt. Yeah, I wouldn't really know what to play there either because you've got a very low hit point Barracuda. Jesus, 200 hit points on that thing. Doing the math. So, oh, and it will say, so that was, just to note that too, when the priority target is assigned, if you click on the card and mouse over the condition of priority target, it will tell you how many hit points it needs to get down to steal it. So you don't have to do the mental math. You can actually see that there, which is nice. That's something I didn't realize when I was playing Trazyn a lot. Oh, man. And then Trazyn himself. Woo, buddy. And he's got a bunch of shields, which is good. And it is his turn, which is also really good. Oh man, god, that's a lot of damage. Stole Long Strike. Yikes. Okay, so that turned around there. That was tight. That could have gone either way with turn order, so you got to be really careful of checking whose turn it is next. And that's with the little floating shield with wings on it on the sides. That'll tell you whose turn it is to actually go, so you can kind of think about your attack timing. Hugely important if you're going to play at this level. Oh my god, that trophy count. It's just, there's too many digits. It's a full digit more than I'm used to seeing. That's not, well, no, that's not true. I pretty comfortably end up in 10k fairly often. That kind of is the peak of where I have time to get to most of the time. Totally just time. I could get this high if I wanted. And now we've got, this is another rough matchup because that is Lilith Hesperax, and whenever a friendly card kills something, it immediately returns to your hand. So if you're doing a priority target and trying to bring these things down, they may constantly be disappearing. So you got to be even more careful than usual about getting those priority targets. But that may have just given it to him. So there he was just checking the amount of hit points he needed to get there, and he should get it. 56. Okay. Yeah, 100 on the nose. Perfect. This is an excellently curated recording, Andy. This, like, you slowed down the game speed. You're taking pauses to check stuff, and you even took an extra long pause there to make sure that I understood what you were checking and why. That was really good. But you forgot earlier. Tisk tisk. No, you did fine. I paused it to go ahead and say it, so that's, yeah. Ooh, okay. Ho ho ho. So I would not have left the Sun Eater there. I would have moved it to be away from the Solitaire, and that the Solitaire then moved. Ooh, man, that was... I'm not going to say lucky, but maybe lucky. I really like the new Drakari cards. Those are very cool. Oh god, yeah, that's going to be a problem. That thing, the Crimson Hunter in a... oh, and see, that's the thing there, is had the Crimson Hunter not been in play, he would have stolen the Solitaire. But the Crimson Hunter is in play. Ooh, interesting call. Okay, that'll kill both of them, but will also kill Mogan Ra. Which gives you potentially enough melee to take down the Crimson Hunter. 73, it's not going to be enough. Oh, ranged it might. So just looking here, we just saw the amount of damage he needs to get on the Crimson Hunter to take it down. It's 73. And he's showing the damage he's going to deal is 189. I don't think that gets it down to 73. I think still that puts it at 90-something. Thinking about melee. Melee means you don't take the shot back and gets it closer. I would go ahead and do melee, so we'll see what he does here. Yeah. Oh, it's close. And Seamit's ranged attack isn't very high. Oh, that'll keep it alive. Okay. Alright, and that taunt also was good. That taunt was really timely too, because that also prevents the Saithbuin from moving. So had Saithbuin moved, it potentially could have one-shot the Sun Eater. So that taunt was really critical on that turn. Oof. Oof. And then that Medicae is going to drop again. But it doesn't matter, there's still a commanding lead here. So you can, oh, but Medicae is going to drop first. Still enough to kill it. And then, wow. Brutal finishing hit. So you can definitely see how powerful Trazyn is at taking the strengths of the opponent's deck and using it against them, but if you're careful about getting those precision target or those priority targets and making sure you're doing the math every turn to see what you can steal where and when, it's really important to get the most out of that. And when you do, you just get free cards, and especially if they have a ton of damage, do something on the drop, which they usually do. So you actually get better the scarier stuff you're up against. Ooh, this is an awful matchup for Trazyn unless you play a lot, because Vahl's ability automatically gives each single friendly card in the deck a flat 30% reduction to incoming damage in every single shot, but there's nothing anywhere that tells you that exact number. So when you're looking at the amount of health you need to get something down to steal it, and then also looking at the damage you're dealing, there's still an invisible number in there of the actual damage you're about to deal. So we'll see how this goes. Starting with the Medicae, the cautious play. Vahl's ability also stacks with fear, so that is a problem. So that thing's going to take something like 20% of incoming damage for the first 3 shots. Unless you hit it with Barrage off lane, but does it move? Nope, okay. Ooh, but the poison does. Bummer. Iota, nice. Iota will be a lot easier to catch, I think. Let's check those hit points again. Not much easier to catch. Those should be about the same. So there, I mean, I didn't take the time to check the numbers, but I'll see if I can catch it next time. Before the attacks are done, let's see if I get it with the button. So right here, you expect 71 from Sun Eater to the primary target. Nah, it's not a good example because his shields are down. Never mind. No, they're not. Okay, so you expect 77 from Sun Eater to the Commissar's Duty in the middle there. We'll see what is actually dealt. Yeah, he still has the golden glow from the shield. Oh, 77 melee becomes 54. Yikes. Okay. And this is another one we saw. Commissar's Duty was the priority target, then the Iota was, and now it's the robot. So the priority target keeps shifting and keeping Andy from getting the stolen cards that you would have expected early on. Still, that Vahl deck isn't doing the damage to really make up for the defense. So it's got plenty of defense, but Andy's deck is there again. So again, the acquisition target, as soon as the regen robot got down to, yeah, okay. So every single card that's been played in this game has moved the acquisition target from an injured target to a full health one. Like every single play. That's brutal. Ooh, I don't know if he expected to kill the robot with that melee. That probably would have been a good case for a ready, and that was a pretty devastating counterattack. But there's not that much left in there. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, we got the target acquired in there. That really highlights the importance of that target acquired, especially in a Trazyn deck. You see a lot of decks running 2 of that. That should be enough. But he's got his defensive shield on, so it's a little bit hard to say. Got it. Nice. Whew. Okay. Of course I'm rooting for Andy. Gotta root for Andy. Vahl is one of my favorite warlords and one I'm constantly trying to make work. So I am kind of rooting for Vahl too, but I am rooting for Andy in this one because this is a tough matchup, but a very challenging mental one. Like the math you have to. Oh, and so here I would wait until you can drop both the Inquisitor and the Medicae at the same time, if possible. That risks brutal. That risks losing Seema. Yeah, there goes Seema. But it gives you the chance to heal up the Inquisitor, which is going to be really good. Oh no! Too soon! Unless he can take the priority target, which he did. Oh, that's a good play. Okay. So I would have messed that up. Maybe, but it probably still... He's still got such a commanding lead, he probably would have won it anyway. As soon as possible, I would move that sniper out from the edge and put something tougher over there, but I guess he doesn't really have anything tougher. But here it is, that Medicae would heal up the Inquisitor as well. I don't know how much you need that, but oof, man. And I definitely would have readied there. And that's, yeah, because Vahl's counterattack is real hard. So pretty sure Trazyn's going to end up on the board. A note here, of course, is that the Warlord can never be the acquisition target for Trazyn, so the Warlord will always... Okay, so Trazyn, yeah, alright, comfortable, cool. So it still ended up being a comfortable win. Okay. Whew. It is kind of fun, too, and one of the things, too, is that when you're playing these decks, any deck you play a lot, your really strong competitive deck, you play it a lot, and it can get very boring. So one of the cooler things about Trazyn is he does add a lot of variety to what you're playing, because your deck is going to be different every single game if you steal an opponent's card. So as you're playing against a rotation of warlords and factions, you will actually have a little bit more time to... a little bit more variety to keep things spicy. So it looks like closing. We don't have any more games, so let's take another quick look at the deck and just kind of restate it. You've already seen it. Trazyn, target acquired, Medicae, Medicae, Medicae. Shields. Critical that you have shields. The Inspiring Presence also helps as well, but got very, very good stats for the cost. Really kind of exemplary of the Necron faction. Seema is an extremely strong piece, and the Sun Eater is one of the best cards in the game. Those two together are a very good starting point for any Trazyn deck, and then of course these two are just really strong utility pieces, coming in at 12 points total for the two bodies. Decent readies, and then also the traits of Medicae and Taunt, and you saw every single one of these cards come in at some critical moment in every single one of those games, which was very cool to see. So yeah, we watched 3 games, we saw this deck. Take a minute to think about it, process this, soak it in. Well done, Andy. Really appreciated the deck and the recordings of the games. Enjoyed watching that. Give this a try. Let me know, let me or Andy in Discord know if you end up trying it out. If you do and it works really well, shoot him a thank you. And we can all take a look at the lead. Actually, let me check the leaderboard right now and see if he's still up there. He's one of the folks that's regularly competing for the top spot, so he probably is up there, if not at the very top. But let's take a look just to do it. And yeah, I was particularly excited to see this, not only because he's such a high-ranked player and just to kind of review someone else's deck and play, but also because my Necron game is pretty weak. I don't play a ton of Necrons. I played them quite a bit early on when I first started playing the game, but haven't done it much since. I'm particularly unsuccessful with Trazyn, so I really enjoy getting the chance to see this. Now I gotta remember how to check the leaderboard. It's not there, it's here. Sorry for the wait. See, there's the rewards track. And I wanted to get this video out because we are looking at the very end of the latter season. Man, how do you see the leaderboard? There it is. There he is, still at the top. And so looking at this now, he sent this video, I think, a week or two ago at 25,000 victory points. He's still sitting at 25,739 in the top spot. Second place is Slade with 17,783. So he's winning by 8,000. Yeah, he's winning by 8,000 trophies, and I'm sitting at just barely 10k. I'm in the 51%, but that's right, 51% in Terra. My God, still up there. Congratulations, Andy. That's cool. What are the rewards this season? Oh man, I just closed it. So Andy should comfortably expect to get... Ooh, yeah, Call Yot Grendok, the new legendary Votan guy. He's a good one, too. Love it. Cool. So yeah, this was super fun. I would be happy to do this again. I'm always looking for new content to do. And in between announcements of new Supreme Commanders and my Warlord guides, and seasonal events, of course, there's plenty to talk about. But I'd be more than happy to review some play from these. I'd be curious to see someone else who's kind of in that top 10 with a different faction. It'd be kind of cool to do a breakdown of the individual factions at that level of play. So anyway, got to see this. Hope this was fun. And cheers. Until next time.